Good day.
Yo, we're in.
Are we in? Are we live officially?
I think so.
We may or may not have just done a full intro without hitting the appropriate live button. So
We're professionals.
feels like the way things go.
How we doing today? Peace? Peace, you good?
Doing good. Cruising right. Existential crisis with AI again. Doing great.
Okay, so
Yeah,
2023 vibes.
Exactly. Designer things.
I love it. I've started realizing that like the distance between when we did this last show and then this show just felt like so incredibly short. And then I remember just what happens when you have like a weekly thing. You start to measure time, and you're like, oh, it is passing us by quickly.
It is.
But,
Yeah.
But I look forward to it every Friday. So
I just measure time based on AI progress now, so it feels like
that's actually that's not going to be effective at all. You're going to feel like a 900.
I'm gonna die like tomorrow. Yeah. AI years. I'm 1,000 AI years old.
Well, I'm very excited. We see the folks in the chat here who've been showing up live with us a couple times already, and it's the third time. Welcome, folks. Lovely to see y'all here again.
Yeah.
We've got a dope show for you today. Josh has curated some of the most interesting things. I mean, half the stuff I didn't even see on my timeline when you introduced it to the doc. So I'm excited to dive into it today.
I'm getting better at digging.
We're digging.
Yeah, Ryan, what's up? Tell your friends. Give us some Twitter love. Tell everybody to come hang out.
We want to feel loved. We only look at live viewership numbers as a way of judging our love. All right, let's get into it.
Sick. So yeah, first up, as you can probably see by looking at the UI, we have some changes. So we have officially integrated with our friends at Pods. Dropped the first two. Yeah, I guess so. Pods is an SEO6 project. They're building a platform that facilitates the releasing and collecting of on-chain podcasts. Have been dropping over the last few weeks. Bunch of collections with some of the most prominent crypto podcasts. Have a bunch of really cool kind of like podcast native experiences coming up. Huge fans of what they're building. So we dropped the first two episodes on Pods. I think they went live like a half hour ago. So you can go collect those. We also are going forward, like create placeholders for the shows that we're doing live that will like retroactively update metadata on, so you can collect in real time and feel really cool because you've already collected the thing that you're currently consuming. So yeah, mints are in the chat. There's a leaderboard that we don't know what we're going to do with yet, but something fun.
I mean, somebody's got to knock David off of the top of this leaderboard token. Mints are live right now. You should start to see them populate in the chat as well. We're just slowly building out the functionality that should make this a fun thing to kind of be a part of daily. I'm seeing, Josh, you minted one, Lucas minted one, but I think get in there, mint them. They're all free to collect, all on Optimism, so nice and cheap. And we're going to do some fun stuff with it, but I think it's at the very least a good way to show you were here.
You were here. Apparently tomorrow in Canadian sounds better than American, which I believe, but
I mean, my default belief is our accent is the best in the world. Like bar none, not even close.
In the world.
100%, dude.
It's a big statement.
Bro. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Australia crushes the Canadian accent.
It all depends on what you're judging it on, Peace. And I agree there are some criteria that is very tough for sure.
The one thing I love is the Canadian A. I'm obsessed with it.
We do have that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's a versatile word. It's
In America, we have to say, you know what I mean. That's an insane amount of syllables compared to A.
But you can shorten it, like what's this, like that actor who just says, you know what I mean? Or maybe it's just a whole country and or region. And that's really only like one syllable, basically. How are we down here? You should go mint some tokens so we feel loved.
Yeah.
And also loves to see the development speed action happening over on Pods. When you're talking to the Pods team that tomorrow the platform is going to look even better. So tune back in tomorrow. And that's all for you, Ryan.
Let's go. Thank you, Pods.
Some more people showing up in the chat. What up, Dave? What up, Steph?
We got Greg from STL.
What's up?
I'm assuming
Greg,
that
what's up? And Ryan. All right.
Lucia and not St. Louis, but all right, nice. Let's get into it. Yeah. So first topic or second topic, I guess pods was like a semi-topic. It's just like a good reminder that we're so early. So I'm a bit of an Ian Rogers fanboy actually. So you guys probably know him, but he played a central role in like bringing the music industry online. Worked with the Beastie Boys, founded Winamp, was like a senior exec at Beats in Apple Music, and then made like a cool transition to LVMH and like led digital strategy there for a while. Also had like a really sweet podcast recently with Rick Rubin where I think he actually provided one of like the better articulations on like the inevitability of crypto that I've heard. So definitely recommend listening to that. But yeah, this week he dropped a thread just kind of comparing, the crypto adoption to the internet adoption that, he witnessed firsthand over the last, 3 decades. And, it's kind of suggesting that, from his vantage point, we're like 10 to 15 years out from broad mainstream crypto adoption. And Jess, we've kind of talked about this a bunch, both like internally with our teams. I know you referenced like the long tail of innovation quite a bit. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of dive into this. The long nose of innovation.
The long nose of innovation. Yeah, I mean, so first fun fact, in Paris, met Ian, he was running around with, I don't know, what is one of those like music boxes that you crank the handle on from back in the day, but it was digital. And so he had everything from Bob. And the guy's just walking around. Oh, this guy's the coolest human being. I didn't even realize he was like, had such a history of being cool. But yeah, I think like this is the challenge. I mean, I saw Web 1.0 into Web 2.0 into the world that we're in right now. And, it's the exact same thing. Everybody has heightened expectations, then, the trough of disillusionment, and then, this sort of slow growth towards inevitability. And I think this crypto's filled with a bunch of people who don't have that historical context. So there's an expectation of things happening faster. The internet should make things faster, et cetera. So I just think there's unrealistic expectations on how fast the stuff happens. And the long nose of innovation is actually like a PDF. I think it was written by somebody at Microsoft Research, and dives in, lays out the argument that we believe there are just these big breakthrough tech moments, like all of a sudden electricity is invented, but realistically, there's just been all these parallel paths of smaller improvements and innovations that ultimately lead to the full value. You see that in Web 2, you see that in the internet. You can probably go back in time for that as well. So we're early. People make fun of us for saying we're still early, but they just don't know what the hell they're talking about. And I think it's also why so many people are so excited about bear markets, right? Like this is the time where you really actually get to focus in on those iterative improvements and lead to whatever that sort of next breakout that will lead us to over inflated expectations, and we do the cycle again. Or probably many of them at the same time.
I think we're really at the point in like the evolution of crypto where I think, the tech's good enough, the products we're building are cool enough that I think like and useful enough that on the inside, it really is starting to feel inevitable in many ways, right? I'm struggling to like imagine a future now where like digital ownership or like internet native financial rails like aren't ubiquitous. Like it just, of course, it just feels like it has to come and it's going to come, but we don't yet have the like infrastructure or haven't had like the cultural progress for this to like for us to have the stuff to make this seem inevitable to everyone else yet.
Yeah, agreed. It's like there's a secret that we know and believe in that others don't know or believe in yet.
Well, it's kind of fun too, right? It's like I don't think we should necessarily like wish for mainstream adoption anyways. Like I mean, we should wish for it and build towards it, but it's like we need to enjoy the time when this feels like subcultural and we can just like be friends with everyone that's here and building.
But I think there's even more to that though. It's like that's how and where these things get built.
100%. Yeah. I think maybe the big takeaway actually is just like how important it is to, have a good understanding of the products that the market's ready for and what ideas are just still too early. Like, not everything can be on chain yet. That's just a fact. But, some things can be. And, I think if the internet's any indication, the crypto giants of tomorrow are going to get, some are probably built, some are going to be built now, but they're going to build things that are, super useful today. People want to use today.
like that's one. I also think like the choosing who you go build for. I'm just still so convinced that building for this niche is like the right thing. Building Web3 things for people who don't know why Web3 things are important is just such a futile activity, I think. And so I think what builders should be excited about is that there is this juicy niche of extremely online people, as Wilson Cusack says, that have ridiculous disposable income, or at least are willing to ape it in on chain often. So I love it. I think we're going to come into this world of the next 6 to 18 months. It's going to feel like a lot of fun toys being released to very online on-chain people, and folks will look at it like, is this it? We're just probably going to play into speculation a lot more. It'll feel much more ephemeral. And I think there's a lot of fun, exciting things that'll come out of that.
Yeah. No. I think I saw like 3 or 4 VC tweets this week that are like, I'm so excited by the roadmaps of the products I'm seeing. So I think there's a lot of I don't know if something flipped, or they just all wanted to, I don't know, they were feeling like uncool. So wanted to just remind everybody that they're on the inside. But
that's just AI Mike that's just tweeting out pro things about his portfolio, which I appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. The true sixth man is the AI that is tweeting about our digital asset holdings.
Yeah.
That was an inside joke. Okay.
Moving on. Nice. So yeah, another, I guess like update on the, the rev share meta. I think probably on every episode we've done so far, we mentioned this in some way. But there's this emerging rev share meta in consumer crypto, and we just continue to see how powerful of an acquisition and engagement mechanism it's proving to be. If you can sustainably make your users money by default, then you have this really good opportunity to just build alongside that, incentivize usage and build something useful. And then this week, Alana, who's actually, I was trying to remember, was she like SEO 3, SEO 4? Anyways, OG Seed Club cohort, dropped a good tweet, just kind of breaking down all the like novel creator revenue models that are being experimented with across crypto right now. And Jamie from Launchcaster dropped a few others as well, which I just think it's like a cool list which really puts in perspective just how much like experimentation is happening around this right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is, for builders that are in certain segments of the market, their excitement around this structure is real. You talk to Kyle from Daylight, or Brian over at Rabbit Hole, this, and of course Jacob at Zora. This sort of network that has incentives baked in to just continue to grow with that pie is crazy. And I think that the thing that continues to blow me away is just the power of distribution on chain that a protocol like Zora has compared to all the other approaches that have gone out there. And I think part of that is due to brand and timing, etc. But I think like this sharing of revenue that really does incentivize people to kind of build on top of, and building meaning everything from issuing an NFT all the way down to a more full featured platform. And there's this sort of economic model built in, and you can start to imagine like true internet global scale and the value that can flow through these contracts and the value that's shared. It's huge. I think there's been north of $100,000 shared through rev shares so far, according to the dashboard that I think Peace might be able to bring up here in a second. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I think you're going to start to see a lot more startups really trying to get into that transaction flow, and look for ways to get pieces of that, and or to the rethinking of products around how you can sort of build it around on-chain actions, and seeing like the gas that's going through that as a way of actually generating revenue or value back in. So yeah, I think it's very, very exciting, very interesting. That part of the market is going to have a lot of innovation in it, I think, as new teams roll at it, and you do well to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I think what's most interesting about it to me is, of course, it's great that
it's almost Jacob's up in the chat fact checking me, so it's almost 2 million. So whatever this,
I think this is just maybe like the referral reward portion of the Zora protocol rewards. Yeah. I think like the coolest part of this to me is the like getting non-creators, or just kind of your like average internet consumer, like in the kind of creator value flow. Like there's creators have, of course, making it easier for creators to make money is great and increasing their optionality is great, but they've had ways to make money, but giving everyone a way to participate in this like kind of positive sum way that also helps creators is super cool. And I think most of the things Alana dropped have that in some form.
Yeah, Jacob dropped a link to this website tracks rewards on Zora.com. I can only imagine what the Zora what's the Zora domain name list look like. God, you guys are just buying all the fun stuff. But top referrals that are just under 300 ETH. I'm not sure what ball that is, but something like a mint on base studies, 31 ETH. Guild, our friends at Guild, doing 25 ETH. Jacob.eth itself has done 16.78 ETH. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool how
real money.
Like mint.fun, like Zora the platform and these protocol rewards just created a business model for mint.fun and many others to just go build on top and like participate in this economy. It's really sick.
In this economy,
I was actually looking at. I think it was a forefront drop, but it's mintfirst.com or something, and it like surfaces all the new things that get minted on Zora, so you can be the first to mint it and then participate in all the. Which is actually I was looking at it earlier this week, and it's kind of a fun little game to play. See when something gets minted, click it. It's like, does this look like it's going to get a bunch of mints? And if you think so, then mint it first.
I always, when we're creating NFTs, I just say mint the first one because I want all that juicy. I want all the percentage points. Give me all the points.
Yeah. You're a very, very selfish minter.
I am. Yeah.
Okay. It's okay.
I mean, this ties into our next topic pretty well. I think.
Yeah, I think it does. So Varian dropped a piece this week. Very much builds off kind of like this emerging rev share meta that suggests that it may be unlocking a new token distribution model for applications that could improve on some of the downfalls of like the current airdrop strategies. So the way it's currently frequently done today, involves incentivizing usage with the promise of future airdrops, often, which we saw in, with Blur, friend.tech. They use points as a way to like kind of maintain the tight feedback loop and provide immediate gratification, but really it's the promise of this future airdrop that's incentivizing a bunch of this early usage. And the problem with that is, as we all pretty well know, is just it largely attracts mercenary usage and puts ownership in the hands of people that aren't necessarily like long-term carers of your project. And then when you launch the token, puts downward pressure on it, and then not only does that obviously like hurt the people who really are long-term carers of your project, but it also, I think, just creates like a negative sentiment if people that care about your project buy and then get dumped on, which actually just has kind of long-term impacts on their fandom of what you're building. So yeah, the model that they propose basically is using rev share as a way to incentivize this usage, and then making tokens or like the acquiring of ownership as like an optional part of that down the road. So yeah, Jess, maybe I'll let you definitely have some thoughts. So I'll let you respond to that.
Yeah, I mean, clearly how we've been distributing value through tokens has been limited, to say the least. So I think like any new innovation, exploration in how we're distributing these tokens is very well worth it. As far as the specific model, I just put it as, add it to the list of interesting things people should consider when thinking about their tokens. I think, the big difference here is this shift, this idea now, I think, that we have that these networks can actually generate revenue and that you have something that you can share that way. So I think that's exciting. But there's sort of like, airdrops are great for capturing a whole bunch of attention at a moment in time and early, and maybe not even bootstrapping usage, but bootstrapping belief, possibility, brand, etc. And the ones that leaned into that the heaviest have done very well. And I think Meme is probably still doing some stuff like this, or this felt like a very 2020 token launch. So I just think we haven't even scratched the surface on how to distribute these tokens. I think when I think about Seed Club, the ideal way forward is one where there's a much more, where tokens are being distributed for a much clearer value exchange. And I think that is ultimately where all this stuff starts to become, challenging to figure out is exactly how, the challenge as a builder at the early stages is, I have no clue how this is going to work. And so you need to be making these sort of iterative changes to it. So, applying sort of this progressive ownership playbook that Varian is mentioning here too still requires the same thing. Like there's probably unlikely you're going to be able to put down this sort of like global economic model that's going to work. So that's why I'm still very excited about points and sort of this way of being able to abstract away the economic model in a way that you have a little bit more flexibility. I think, pulling in revenue from that is also a really interesting model. But I'm also still a big fan of tokens without revenue. I think there's a whole new possibility there, even with all the bullshit that kind of comes around it. I think there's better ways to go do that too. So I love anybody pushing forward the idea of launching these tokens. I also think that we just have, I will often get on calls with people and say, like, people asking about token design, and I'm like, nobody has any fucking clue what they're doing. And I get so many different reactions to it, but I honestly think that's the only fair answer. Like, just because you can put together a spreadsheet and say, this is how I'm going to distribute the token, doesn't mean you actually know what the hell you're doing. And I'd just say, like, coming in with recognizing our general ignorance of what we don't even know, we don't know, is probably an important thing, especially if you're stepping into designing a token.
Yeah, I think it's like entirely inevitable that whatever you design and launch, you're going to hate a year later, just because your understanding of what you're building, the narratives of the market are going to inevitably shift, and you can't get it right. So do what you need now, do what you think is best now, maintain as much optionality as you possibly can, and you can always correct things, or if they're not working or go wrong, and lean into things that are working further down the road.
That optionality is so key. It reminds me of this person that we know who just like, his conviction is undying. He only has one tool that he ever uses, like, all the time.
Is that conviction? Is that conviction? How many chairs are you sitting on right now? Is that you're afraid to commit? Is that conviction? Why don't you diversify? Driving 10 cars at the same time, 10 cars, rational individual. Do you use conviction? Why don't you diversify? Is that conviction? You're a rational individual. You put your entire family on the one airplane? Driving 10 cars at the same time? Is that you're afraid to commitment? Is that you're afraid to commitment? There is no such rational individual. Is that conviction? How many chairs are you sitting on right now?
Is this what conviction feels like?
No, I love this. Things like, you guys are boring as fuck, and I'm gonna put.
It's funny seeing the chat, and everyone's like, "Wow, that caught me off guard." And Jess and I also had zero idea that was happening. So.
I just think it's super important to remember what you're talking about is the optionality of chairs. You have a kitchen chair, a dining room chair, maybe a chair in your office, and you need all these different things. And I just think it's super important not to marry tokenomics. Although maybe it'll work for him.
Yeah. No, that made complete and total sense, and I appreciate you helping us land that point so directly and subtly.
Can't wait for the next one. Yeah.
I think actually new opportunity here. If I think if you're in the chat and whatever we're talking about is boring you, or Peace, if you are bored, we could just introduce like a 10-second version of that video as like a palate cleanser. I feel like I liked it. I like that entire experience. So thank you.
We got to have that like pre-minted, or you got to mint in real time, because there's some energy for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I guess just to close us out on this topic, I think in my mind where this, so if you're able to raise venture money, have a path to near-term revenue, and like, I guess have a heavily differentiated product or something that can just like attract people on narratives and like feature set alone, then maybe you don't need to do the airdrop. But I think it really the model they're suggesting probably like really falls down for projects building in more crowded markets, or where you kind of need this like flash, like hyper liquidity right? Like the variable rewards and like value in multiples of revenue that tokens provide, you like, and the pull that creates, you're not gonna be able to replicate
100%.
with dust of revenue. Like, Blur, do you think Blur would be where they are now and like have captured the market share they did now if they were just rev sharing? Definitely not.
No, not a chance. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you lined these topics up so good because we're kind of talking about tokens as Ponzi's, maybe how you don't make tokens as Ponzi's, and then
let's go into
somebody on friend.tech is like, yeah, hold my popcorn, let's go.
Hey, just a lot of thought goes into this float.
Oh, I love it.
You don't think this just happened? Yeah, this one's great. I love this one. So basically, like the most expensive account on friend.tech, I think it's CPP something, I don't know, introduced a token yesterday that's basically 1-to-1 backed by their friend.tech airdrop points, so that at the end of the airdrop window, the CBP token will be redeemable for like whatever they get, whatever reward one friend.tech point gets you. And then, as if like that wasn't enough, they've also introduced ways to earn these CBP tokens that they've created, and like the core way that you earn them is by actually buying the keys of some other friend.tech account that they own. So yeah, like the levels of Ponzi in this are kind of mind melting, but I think it will actually provide some interesting like price discovery for friend.tech points, because there's this liquid token and market that's kind of theoretically 1-to-1 backed with friend.tech points. So, Peace, do you want to pull up either the tweet or the like deck screener link I dropped?
We're on CBP too, so people are following along at home with the sidebar.
Yeah, we got a snafu over here. We got like file management and folders crossed over.
This picture piece with like 17 monitors and 4 levers and a couple buttons, one of which engages that video we saw earlier.
He also probably live made that video in like 5 minutes before dropping it.
I think he's doing it again right now. We're
getting something up.
I mean, I love the, like the looking at crypto as like building new worlds with new rules that some people want to go play around in. I think is that then others can go build on top of it. I just think it's like the very right way to look at it. And friend.tech is just like such an example of it, right? Here's the thing, here's these rules, you can go play, cool, captures attention, and then you're just seeing all these iterations due to it being on chain and accessible. And of course, people are going to push that into the depths of even more ponzification of it. So I just love people running these experiments and doing it. I'm not sure how useful it's going to be for price discovery. I think it's more of an interesting narrative.
Well, interestingly, so I love the pump. It went to, even if you go even more granular, I think it went to like $16 instantly, and then now it's settled kind of around, I think it's like $3.50. But apparently there's been some like OTC deals happening for friend.tech points around like the $2 to $3 mark. So it's kind of settling where people think friend.tech points are worth, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I
haven't been able to log back into friend.tech at some point, and I feel like I have like literally $7 worth of those points somewhere. So I should probably figure that out.
Well, that's the challenge. It just got like so quickly. It just got dominated by people playing that game and gaming that system that it kind of disincentivizes anyone there that wants to use it for real reasons, because you just see your dust of points and you're just like, this is just not. It's not going to get me anywhere. It's not going to get me to the moon.
Should have done rev share.
They should have. I mean, they did.
They do rev share. Yeah. They just need to pump the token. That's what they need to do. Really.
Yeah. They need to launch the token, and then I think in the variant model it would be like, you can choose to take half of your like trading fees in tokens or something. Interesting.
We're seeing the chat light up with mints here too, but our leaderboard isn't working. And so I think Hurl's designed it so he would only be the top minter today as well. So
smart guy. We'll have that fixed for next week.
Absolute classic move. Yeah.
We love it though. We're out here experimenting, hacking shit together. Nice. Cool. Let's move on to this. Yeah, Pete, I don't actually know if you have this on your left side, so we're gonna be in tab limbo for a minute here. But this is a late edition. I saw, I think late yesterday, that Aave companies acquired acquired Family, the I don't know, a wallet, a very well designed wallet that I have not played with, and then kind of in conjunction with that, announced their rebranding to Avara for their like portfolio of brands, which includes Aave Labs, who released the Aave protocol, building a lot of the tech on top of that. Lens, Sonar, they have a stablecoin. They're a GHO stablecoin, and now Family. So I think like why this is really interesting is because I think like maybe with the exception of Lens, like most of these products are kind of in what I don't think will be winner take all markets, but like very lucrative markets that, great businesses can be built in. So, there's going to be a ton of wallets. There's going to be a bunch of lending protocols and products. There's going to be a bunch of stable coins. So trying to like, create, I guess like dominate, I guess like my guess is what they're seeing is the path to like building, a huge business here and having some insane outcome is actually by becoming this like family of very kind of profitable, successful crypto companies instead of just trying to, run at a single huge thing and kind of dominate that market. And likely, I think Family also saw that their path to, building a huge business as a wallet was probably not there, and then participating in this Aave ecosystem or being a part of this kind of umbrella of brands is
I think
passive.
Wallets are tough business, and maybe isn't winner take all, but oh dear God, you need to get a lot of users on there to make that work. And also, I think there's this general trend you see it talked a lot about in DeFi, just sort of like the going horizontal, right? So we can go be a great, perp DEX, but now we have the opportunity to go into a bunch of other sort of associated things. So I think that's makes a ton of sense here, and that also sort of gets to the power of brand, like Aave and the trust and wealth that was generated there is the thing that has given them credibility to go do these other things. And you can imagine needing one or two of those to also hit in some way for it to really start to add a lot of value that way. So, and also, holding codes are just like the coolest thing ever right now, according to everybody on Twitter. So why would you go do a hold co? But we see it in our business as well, right? Like there's not one. There'll probably be one core product that generates a lion's share of value, but there are many other things we are doing that do generate revenue, contribute to the whole, stronger together. So I think this just plays into the overall narrative pretty well.
It's kind of the attention network playbook in many ways, right? Like Aave has a ton of attention and usage. They're probably pretty confident that they can significantly increase the usage of Family by just plugging it in there, or it being like the preferred Aave wallet or whatever, right? So
let's move on. That's interesting, but next.
Cool. Next is Liquid Delegate. So I don't know.
What even is it? I read this. I'm like, well, okay, I get it, but like, I get it. I think
it's more cool. Maybe kind of a nerdy topic. I think the cool from like the kind of composability standpoint, but basically they building off of the network effects that their delegate.cash product has, which is basically you can have a valuable asset in your like hardware wallet and delegate to another hot wallet that you use to like sign into things and get access to things that projects can integrate with. And they just yesterday announced their marketplace for tokenizing and trading, like the utility piece of that. So basically what you can do is like deposit your NFT into some escrow account that creates a token, like a principal token that gives you access to redeem the asset you deposited, and then a delegate token that represents the delegation rights for that asset. So whoever owns that can claim airdrops or get access to events or token gated chats or whatever utility that NFT actually provides. So I don't know. I think it's cool for NFT owners, asset owners that maybe want exposure to a project or want to participate in the project long term, but don't have time to like keep up with it, or people that just want kind of the benefits or utility of having a token, but don't necessarily care about the ownership exposure can go here. I think it's more just cool for the composability piece.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, where do you see this being used? And my brain just goes like, oh, somebody's going to sell delegated 8 tokens to 8 fests next year so you can get their eyes bleached by UV lights or something like that. Which is just I like cool. I'm sure there are other things. Like I think that the this tweet thread that Fubar lays out is like really hinting at, cool, you can do this basic stuff with JPEGs right now, but really NFTs aren't just JPEGs. There's a lot more to it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how somebody uses this in an interesting way.
For sure. I think maybe too early, like, eventually when NFTs begin representing much more, there's probably a ton of use cases that emerge, but yeah, fully agree. Like, how many people want to buy access to some like Discord chat or something? I can't imagine it's huge right now.
No, but yeah, I agree. There's a lot of interesting things that are being and have been built through the bear market in NFT land, NFT utility land, which goes far beyond dating. So
it has the potential to turn your bag holders into market makers, basically. Like, so someone wants to speculate that all punk holders are going to get an airdrop. Great, I have punks. I'm going to put one up here, and now someone who can't afford a punk can speculate on whether or not owning this delegate token is going to be airdropped something in the future, and they can claim it or something. I don't know. That's
creating a market around something that is a very illiquid. Assuming somebody doesn't want to sell their NFT. So,
and they've got the rev share
and great diagrams.
Yes, you can earn a share of trading fees.
Yeah, projects can. So incentivizes projects to integrate, which is cool. There's just like layers of kind of interesting like integrations.
Okay,
here that's worth looking at.
Okay, yeah. So LDF, I totally did know what this was, and so stop flaming me in the chat. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. Let's move on. Unless Peace, you have another video for us or something that's just going to hammer this point home.
Oh, not this one. Maybe we'll see if we can get it on the next one.
Yeah, we got.
The next topic is more money than God.
Yeah. So
there's only one. Dude.
Because I seem to like AI, like OpenAI made by Americans. It is indeed more advanced. But I think that in the emerging field of blockchain, the gap between China and the world is not that big. On the contrary, if we work very hard on our blockchain industry, I personally believe that China has the opportunity to take the lead in blockchain technology in the world. Blockchain technology is now at the forefront of internet technology, along with artificial intelligence and big data. This growth point in the future human economy is very beneficial for the progress of the entire country and nation, in my perspective.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I just thought that was super weird. It's like the British accent on his voice is super crazy, and I don't know. He's got to be the closest one to have more money than God. Thank you, Tron.
I don't think it actually the accent made me want to go buy Tron. No, it's the usage in Africa. That's right. The argument for Tron. Right.
Yeah. Nice. That harp too. That harp is great. Yeah. So more money than God is a book I'm reading right now about basically the history of hedge funds, and shares a bunch of prominent stories of prominent hedge fund managers, and kind of like digs into their varying strategies. It whatever, but conveys like the immense impact they've had on our financial system. And I think when Jess and I were talking earlier this week, and I was just like, man, our like financial system's so made up and patched together, and it was just like layers and layers of just like decisions by random billionaires that kind of got us here. And I think you said something like, that's this is like foundational to understanding crypto. So just wanted to hear you riff on that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think like without an understanding of the historical context of money and how it was all just like socially constructed from seashells to iron bars to coins, etc., like you might think that the current fiat currency system we live in has just been here forever and would exist forever, and it just isn't the case. Clearly, Bitcoin is an example to show that isn't the case. So yeah, I think like the malleability of reality and how the importance of the narratives that we create, this mutual agreed upon belief in something is how things become valuable. So I think if you look at somebody who's a no coiner versus a full coiner or versus somebody into crypto, I would guess there's some general misunderstanding, or at least a full failure to understand the fullness of how created all these things are. And I live on the west coast of Canada, and growing up we learned a lot about the Native American cultures that were around here. And in our area specifically, the way to wealth was actually through something called the potlatch, which was just giving away one's wealth. So you'd be the most prestigious and powerful, but built on your ability to give away more and more. And it actually led to a bull run in these potlatches, and ultimately their downfall with some colonial bullshit that ruined it for everybody. But there's some other value creation system that was there. And so I think that was definitely something that opened my eyes to, like, maybe we can go create magic internet money around belief. So, I mean, imagine what that book's going to look like in 20 years when they write back on this, right? They had this happening in New York for the most part with a small group of people. Now we have world distribution happening on the internet. Like, more and more craziness coming our way, and we're going to go create more money than God originally created, which isn't hard to do because it was zero. But
no, it makes it. Yeah, I think just the more I understand this, the more reasonable it seems that we can just like make. Of course, we can go make our own financial system. They did. I mean, right?
Biographies of these people that were around through the industrialization of the West is just essential reading, I think, for anybody who's in the space. And just shout out to David Senra and the Founders Podcast. If you just want to catch up on all that sort of stuff, go listen to 45-minute podcast from a guy who's absurdly nerdy about reading business biographies.
I mean, this book is.
You're welcome.
This book's entertaining as hell, though. It honestly reads like fiction, but is real and educational. So recommend checking it out. All right, nice. So those are all the kind of like meatier topics, and then we dumped a bunch of just tweets and shit into this lightning round that
purposely did not read any of these tweets. So I just want to be lightning rounded.
So I saw this morning, and I was like, I can't.
We got to lightning this though, Josh. We got to lightning
it. I was scared to click this link, but basically it's this game someone created where you get matched with like a random stranger. So it's like whatever Omegle chat roulette kind of style thing, but it's like a staring contest.
Let's go.
It's a staring contest.
See, this is the internet takes one thing away from us and gives us a new iteration.
Gives us a new one.
Even creepier.
I'm not clicking that link and risk that it just sends you straight to the game, but I don't know, for someone that's like comfortable in awkward social situations.
I mean, you have to click the link piece. How do you are our link clicker? You have to click.
I would love to, but I can't go on cam. So
okay.
This is a dead end of the internet for me.
Go stare somebody to the internet and report back to us.
Someone in the chat, go do this and report back. Oh yeah, this was crazy. Nima shared this. Basically, there's like research now showing they can like reconstruct a scene based on like the reflection in people's eyes.
You've seen Wild Wild West, haven't you? With Will Smith, the classic American film.
Perfect.
It's like
couldn't do it.
That's like literally the opening scene of this movie is like they find a dead guy and hook a projector up to his eye, and they're like, "That's the culprit." Like, it's like literally this fucking thing. This is nuts.
Cosmic Blend is chirping you in the chat piece. We found a link. That piece won't click. Oof, that's good.
That's good.
I mean, I thought when like my first thought when I saw that was they were trying to recreate things people saw just using their brain waves or magnetic fields or something like that. So I don't know, but my realm of possibility of reconstructing things based on human senses, I think is pretty broad. And I think that, in a very staged way, this seems like it would probably make a ton of sense, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Also,
what does privacy look like?
Yeah. I mean, this is orb. This is basically the orb. Also, these are recorded for the chat.
Oh yeah, they recorded.
Are we getting? Oh my God!
What is this?
This is
nice.
This is what those scientists are doing. It's exactly that.
What a good actor. Man. It's memories, though, right? Or it's still like burned into his retina.
Yeah, it was the last
Oh.
thing he saw.
How crazy.
Oh, with fire? It's perverted. Look at that though. AI could never.
Got those laser eyes.
Dude, you're ruining this movie for me that I'm obviously going to go watch. It's on my list.
So good, man. Okay, nice.
Oh,
I mean,
I saw this.
up
This
next.
is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is dope.
Can you give us some volume fees?
I don't think we have
I don't know if we
sounds.
can.
Yeah, I don't think.
Okay, this one I did see. Basically, what's happening here is he's coded up some AI magic that is viewing what is happening in that screen, so his face, and then using David Attenborough sound of narration to narrate what's happening. So he like raises his eyebrows at one point, and then there's a David Attenborough narration of him raising his eyebrows, but not just like his eyebrows are raised. It, like you can see the text on streams. He's wearing what appears to be some part of like. It is insane.
Yeah,
I like that. Well, I like that David Attenborough like kind of roasts him in all the like. It's a sick feature.
The guy actually dropped I saw this 5 minutes before we jumped on here. He dropped a Larry David one too that I'm sure is amazing.
I mean, let's just go with those eagle cams or like the birds hatching cams. Put that camera on with David Attenborough narrating what's happening, and I could just give me that in a frame, and I'd have it hanging on my wall. Snoop.
So Snoop, I don't know. I saw this and I was like, amazing. He gave up smoke, and then the replies were just hilarious. And then it got even better because I just realized he's launching like a vape brand and like a edibles brand or something. But everyone was like, "Oh, such a great decision for your health and whatever." But he's gonna be high as ever.
The guy is a fucking master. Look at that image.
So
like
good.
It's just like it's the whole thing is. I mean, I think he's just prepping for a presidential run here. Maybe there's probably a gap on 2024. Yeah, this is just brilliant marketing as far as I'm concerned, and yeah, the delay between and the 24-hour delay between this and like leaking the news that they're launching one of these companies is just. I have deep appreciation for people who can manipulate the space-time attention continuum and do it in a way that I feel like, fuck, I'm cool. I'm stoked to be a part of this.
The Snoop Attention Network. Those vapes are gonna go crazy. I think the edibles are called doggy treats too. You can't beat that.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see like talk about a crowded category where there's probably no winner take all, and I don't know. Investing in weed stocks was like the hot thing to do before crypto became the hot thing to do. So maybe we're coming back for it.
Buy some
round two.
All right, Peace. I think we got one more, and this one's gonna get interactive. This shit's crazy. You guys saw that. I'm sure everyone saw this. I don't even know. Well, I don't even know what TL Draw is, but basically, I think TL Draw integrated with ChatGPT or some LLM you can draw and annotate what you want a product to do, and it'll just automatically make it real. So there's been a ton of these floating around Twitter. Peace was fucking around with one. Peace's cool game. But yeah, you can basically draw anything, and I think this is interestingly actually going to be pretty helpful for something we're maybe launching soon.
Oh yeah, good point.
Right?
Ooh, yeah. Interesting.
But so you can draw anything.
This is Peace actually designing. Okay,
this is Peace doing it. So Peace is going to go take this for a spin.
Can you tell us what you're doing, Peace?
Chug some soda.
Yeah. So I made Peace's cool game. Player earns points by hitting obstacles. Spacebar makes this character jump. This is my character, and let's get some points. 0-1 earns. How many points should I earn every time I hit an obstacle?
Oh, somebody was out there. Some PC was out there talking about how we should stop using 420 and 69, such infantile numbers, bring credibility. And then he got roasted in the chat, or in the replies, which I love. So probably 69 or 420 would be the recommendation here.
That's a great how to sterilize your deal flow.
Yeah. In crypto.
Spacebar makes this character jump. Obstacles are coming this way. Obstacles, let's see, move at varying speeds, like at least, I don't know. Let's say obstacles are, I don't know. Let's
Trees.
see. Pieces Cool game uses, I'm going to say he uses emojis. Maybe they'll design with emojis. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. These are my points. Great. Let's just see what it will hallucinate.
I mean, there's no way this works first try. Can't be.
Okay. Yo. Shit. Okay, hold on.
Can you move it?
It didn't listen to me about the space. Okay. Spacebar jumps.
So you need to go side scroll maybe for the jump to work.
I'm getting, like, let's see.
Let's go update your rules here so it scrolls sideways.
Yeah. Obstacles move horizontal.
Yeah.
You should get some like arrow keys in there too.
Yeah, add the arrow keys to. But we got the chat helping out here. Arrow keys move side to side.
Arrow keys moves. Okay.
Is there any
Spacebar
way
makes
to
this
give it
character
feedback?
jump.
Yeah.
Arrow keys draws or move side to side. Okay. Thank you, chat.
Ryan's asking you to get ready to design Skate 4 this way.
Right. Yeah, video game development. They're coming for you. We're coming for you. 5 years to develop a game? Are you kidding me? My score is
5
0.
minutes. There we go. What?
This is exactly what I want, but I can't jump. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, so let's see if I can just modify this little friend. The likeness is uncanny. I got that right. So it's like...
It's 2 balls.
This bar makes me jump. Dude, look at all those points I could be earning. I'm freaking out. My score, actually...
Oh, no, you're getting them. You're getting them.
My score is getting a mini. This is the best... This is the best game ever. Okay, well, for, someone like me who has no idea what I'm doing, this is fantastic.
It's a good sales pitch. Oh, there you go.
Yes. This is awesome, and this is a game where I just jump.
This is called trampoline.
Dude, Skate 4 is gonna be fire. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty cool for a whiteboard.
Pretty sick. Yeah, it's fun to play around with.
Okay.
This is my favorite product detail.
Okay, hold on. There's a phenomenal suggestion in here that I just think if we can make something like this work would be incredible. Make it Travis Kelce just barreling through middle school Swifties. I mean, we have to see what that does.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Peace, do you even know who he is?
He's the football player that Taylor Swift is grooming.
All right, you got it.
I heard about his brain damage. Twitter is back, baby. It's spreading nothing but good information. Okay, come on. Well, come on. Oh, okay. Pieces Cool game is about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Good actor. This is crazy. This is dope too. Like, I like it. I like what this thing will make. I mean, I don't know. People were talking about, someone on Twitter the other day was like talking about app engagement and different types of engagement. And they were like talking about the difference between Bandcamp and Spotify or TikTok or all those things. And they were saying as things trend social, there's like less money because the money comes from like engagement or something like that. But I don't know. I feel like all to say it's all a lottery, right? It's like these social apps like are not about engagement. It's just you're sitting there waiting for like the next amazing thing you're gonna see. Like I just sat there fully engaged with that load bar for this to print 0 points in a blue square in this thing. It's amazing.
Which one's Travis Kelce?
It's just insane. So I don't know. And it's like I would literally pay anything to get OpenAI in order to do this. And instead I'll hang on the list.
You could have, but you didn't.
I could have, but I didn't. Exactly. But spacebar to earn points. I mean, DeFi, take notes. This is unreal.
Spacebar to earn points, DeFi, take notes. That needs to be clipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the new farming, the new yield farming.
This is
there was
my target for YFI.
Oh, nice. I like that. Good to see that token pumping the other day. We'd love to see that. 2020 come back. I saw that there's also, I don't think it was in our list, but somebody was that tool that you just take a screenshot of like a feature of a website and it will just turn it into code for you. I think that, man, I remember when I discovered blogging and social media and I was just like, holy shit, like you could do anything on the internet now. And man, does this stuff just make that look so quaint? It makes it look like I could start my own newspaper. That'd be a fun thing to go to. False. You need to start some random app that makes you fall into staring contests with strangers on the internet because Omegle got shut down due to the absurdity of internet regulation.
Has anyone tried that? I need to know it. I need to know what that's like. That staring game,
right?
But I just can't do it. That would just break.
Somebody reporting back into chat. I mean, I'll do it right now. I'm so good at staring contests.
All right, do it.
I'm so good. Yeah, I'm gonna go win. Do you get tokens if you win? See, that's where the crypto comes in.
You get rev share.
We're almost at the top of the hour. I had fun doing this. I love that there are people here who are chirping us in the chat. So deep appreciation. Stefan, Lucas, Ryan, LDF, what up? Chet, Simon,
nice.
Drew. There's so many more in here too. We're going to be back here every Friday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time, Friday afternoon if you're on the other side of the country for me. We have so much incredible builder energy in the Seed Club world right now. Our friends at Backdrop just finished up the 500 builders and dropped an LLM or a chatbot. You can sort of see all the things people are building in. Friends over at JokeDAO just been rolling out updates after updates. Friends at Daylight obviously doing rev share, but again making big moves. And then all the things that are happening within our SEO 6 teams that we're not even able to talk about yet, but bubbling up. Of course, pods here. Lovely to see people minting. If you refresh your page, you'll see the leaderboard. Peace is currently in the lead. We're going to do something fun with these in the future. So,
what are we at?
I haven't reloaded again, but
what are we at? What's our mint count at?
I think
do we need to pump
4 mints. I think 7 is always our target. So if we can get to 7, that would be lovely. 7 listeners, 7 mints.
Nice.
There's Lucas. What's going on there?
Look at that backflip.
Yeah, anything else?
This guy, just such a low key nasty skier.
I cannot wait to kick his ass at golf. I cannot wait. I'm coming for you, Lucas. The Seed Club Invitational 2024.
Raise your hand if you would come to the Seed Club Invitational golf tournament. That is going to be unlike any golf tournament that you could conceive of in your brain.
Holes might be bigger. They might be smaller.
We're gonna play with the holes. We're gonna play with the holes.
I'm seeing a bunch of links in the chat now. I'm gonna click on these in a little bit. Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
I mean, the beauty of like products like Interface. The beauty of products like Interface is once people start minting, it starts percolating throughout the internet.
Ooh, I gotta set up our profile interface. I haven't done that yet. That is the move, so we can get that distribution.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, you beautiful humans. It's the top of the hour.
Ooh, LDF in
for
first.
spending some time with us.
Nice.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. Thank you.
And after last show, people tweeted screenshots with some lovely things. Keeps me going, baby. So that's what gets me out of bed on a Friday morning. That's what allows me to read the doc Josh created.
I wore my butterfly shirt
just
for that this week.
You know, so I love it. See you next week. We're still here. It's going to be Thanksgiving in America next week. We're still going to be live. Come hang out. It's not Thanksgiving for us in Canada, so whatever. But we'll have some fun for you then. And yeah, all these are available on YouTube, and we're going to roll it out. We've got a podcast feed as well, so if you wanted to listen to this stuff, but you'd miss all the drawing. You can watch video on Spotify. That's kind of fun. Be fun. All right. Thanks, Peace. Thanks, Josh. Thank you, Cheryl, Hurls, and Merna for keeping things on the rails on the back end here. We'll be back here 10 a.m. Pacific next Friday.
Ciao, ciao.
Double.